he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to David Metal Customs. Today we're getting back on the 2006 Mazda Speed 6 project, and we're going to be getting our flares ready and getting them installed. It's right here. But yeah, that's going to be a big deal. It'll be a lot of work and a lot of figuring out. But let me show you what we got. We got our flares in Saturday, and I went ahead and made some measurements and done some marks. Let me catch you up on that. All right, well, what I've done, I measured. We're going to start on the front fenders first. Come here and made me a straight line up here. It's that dotted line. And then I made another line here. I've already held the flare up, so I know how high it needs to sit. And here are our flares. Yeah, they are big. He really wanted a lot of clearance on this thing because he is going to lower it more. So, like they say, go big or go home, right? Well, we'll start with the one here. I measured across from here to there is 35. It makes a 17 center, and I marked that 17 center. So what I'm going to do, and I didn't want to, but really ain't got no choice, is to run some little zip screws in here to help hold this thing in place so we can see how it's going to fit. Yeah, I would have rather not done that, but I don't really see any other way to hold it up there. Don't have any magnets that strong or anything like that. I don't have Klinkos, whatever you call them. So, zip screws it is. But let's grab this flare and pop it there on the center and just get a general idea of where we're going to be at. Yeah, ain't much of a lift to get a screw in either, so that's going to be a bit of a pain. See if we can get the screw first and then hustle it up there. It'll be real easy that way. Alright. Let's see how we'll do this. I know where it's going to be. They can get where I want to be. Say like that for me. Please. Screw, we'll go in on it. That went better than I thought it would. It really did. Alright. This is a 20 gauge metal. So we can sort of push it where we want. We can do it. Push it where we want. Just really push it right there. Here will be a big deal. Down there it will be a big deal. Make sure we got that going straight across, and we can still get it crooked. See what I'm saying? So, I don't think straight across is going to be a issue. What the issue is getting where it needs to be. Probably just start back here and go like that. This take is a test course fashion. And guys, that's what a lot of this work is. trial and error stuff, putting something up there to see how it fits, if you can make it fit, you know. That's where all this customizing comes in. It's just not a package deal. And this is not some cheap plastic body kit that, you know, was box or some junky place. This is steel, and really trying to make a nice setup here that is full light. That's all it's really about. Look at that, get a screw in there. When you're on an angle, it's a little thing. Oh, you got something. My bit got in it. Let me clean this bit out, get a couple screws in there, and we'll step back and see what we got. Well, I got the flare on there where I think it needs to be. But what I'm doing now is turning the wheel. There's so much room we got. That tire is still way under there. We've got a lot of room. If it was to bounce, I do not believe we'll get that. It's not sure. Not sure how the customer wants it. I'm going to call this the low position and the high position. Let me turn the tire back the other way and make sure it's not going to be close. It's not that hard to turn. Plenty of room. Plenty of room. Let me straighten that back out now that we know. Yeah, you got to check these things out. Right, we're going to call that the low position. And I think that's about where he would want. So now that we know that, that will work. We really need to get one on the wheel. What I need to do is take a couple pictures of it and send it to him and say, hey, this is about where the flares are going to sit. Is this what you wanted? Yes or no? If yes, I'll continue. If no, tell me what you want so I can make it happen. But yeah, I'm happy with that front flare, the way it looks. Really tucks that tire in there. So let's run to the back and see what we can figure out. All right, guys, throw one screw in there to get it about where I think it needs to be. But here's the issue with the back. Because it's a 4-door, we've got the flare is going to not be centered with the tire. Yeah, I think it's one of the things that's going to have to live with it. As far as picking it up some, I mean, it's good. I'll get a little more evenness with the tire. That runs our flare up into our door. That means we'd have to cut a lot of that flare out, which I think would just kill the look. And it's a lot of extra metal work too. And like I say, I know I keep pounding on this, but it is a budget. Yeah. Up there is about as far as we can get it. Now we could probably, once we get a screw in here holding, probably pull that in some and make it line up, make it go closer. But that, I'm just, to tell you the truth, I'm just not too sure that will. If that goes in closer, then I'll throw his angle off and actually make that look like it's curved into the car, which ain't cool. I'll tell you what, at this point, we'll take some pictures and shoot them over to him and let him make a decision on what he thinks. If he likes this, we'll roll with it. Well, all right. While I was waiting on him to message me back, figured I'd go ahead and get these little side skirt pieces on. But that is just not going to work. For one, you can see that's nowhere near conforming. This is way too far forward. It needs to be back here. Just not going to work. You look at it this way, you see how far that's supposed to come in here like this and come in and down. So I'm not going to put them on there. Honestly, it'll be easier for me to just grab some sheet metal and make me some good pieces that run up and meet this properly and are nice and smooth. I think it'll be actually quicker and easier, because to make this piece right here work, I might have to do a whole lot of fabricating, and you can see it don't even fit right. So we got all this open pocket, all this open space, and that just looks like crap. We can do our sheet metal and make it all nice and smooth and conform to that fender and that flare. So that is that. Well, now we're just waiting. Well then, still waiting, but this I do know it needs to be done. The side skirt piece has got to go, because that ain't coming nowhere close to fitting nothing. So what I've done, I took me a straight edge, laid down through here, and right before it starts curving out, that's where I'm cutting. So we're going to cut this thing right here. And I've done the same thing on the other side as well. And then we're going to have to remake a lot of that. Yeah, I wish I could use more of it, but I cannot. Yeah, I know. It's a bummer, ain't it? But that's what you got to do to make stuff fit and make it look right. Reason I got it up so high, I've got a metal bracket under here. Got to chop out in order for this piece to come off. But let me get set up here and grab my tools, and we'll cut this thing off and see what we got underneath it. Of course, we need to take that flare off and get rid of that piece right there. We can go up against there, right there, and get a good weld as well. But hey, let's get to it. Got it all cut out. I'll throw this back on there so I sort of make sure I ground down here enough, get everything clean so I can give me some good weld in there. And we're at a good spot. Yeah, that works out just fine. All right, got this one, got the other side, went ahead and knocked it out. Went to cutting, man, it came off in one big chunk. Yeah, it wasn't being held on by a whole lot. But this side's a little rougher when we get up into here. We'll have to do some creative grinding in here to get everything to be the same as the other side. Like I say, this right here, yep, going to be some tricky sheet metal work, put it that way. But ain't nothing I ain't done before, so we'll take care of it. But yeah, we'll keep on keeping on. Hopefully he'll message me back soon. If he does, I'll go ahead and throw both of them on this side and get my marks and get everything cleaned up and get this thing ready to rock. Well, all right, it's another day, guys. We're out here on the little Mazda. And I messaged back and forth with the young man who owns it. And he wants these flares brought in a whole lot. We're talking right now they're 3¼ inches away from the tire, from here to here. That's all. What he's wanting is just about 3/4 of an inch away from the tire, which, I mean, I've done a lot of math on this already, considering he's going to drop it another inch and trying to give clearance and things like that. We're just going to have to see how this works. Now, the easiest thing to do, of course, would be just come here and cut off yay much of this. But that leaves a sharp edge here. And it's not in their budget for me to make another lip and fix that sharp edge. So the only choice that really leaves me is to cut this where you see I made that line and just bring this part up. May have to take that other part off. We don't know yet. We're going to see how it works out. And weld all that together. Then put a little line of filler down through there to make it look smooth. Excuse me. And we are not putting filler here because we want to make some tabs on the inside here where you can just bolt this, because he'll be taking his front bumper on and off, which still, I mean, that's still a problem, because y'all know these bumpers snap in right here. But I reckon you could wrestle that out of there and hope that from this weld down, this flexes enough to get that bumper on and off. Yeah, it's hard to do sometimes, guys. And don't get me wrong, I ain't saying nothing about what a customer wants, what they don't want. But a lot of times the actual execution of it gets really difficult. So this just happens to be one of them things. So I reckon what I'm going to do, I'll just come in here. I've done taken all my measurements, and I'll just come in here and cut this, and we'll see what happens. Because part of this business, get it like the customer wants it, and it's one of them. It is what it is. But we're going to play with this front one here, and that way it'll denote what we do to the other front one, and then we'll go to the back and do the same thing. We'll take measurements and stuff on it too, because in back tires actually stick out 1/4 inch more than the front tires. So where we had a 3¼ here, we only got 3 there. So we got to do that math. But I think that's going to do it. I don't know. Let me just grab a cutter, and this is on there good enough that I can run a cutter through there and it'll hold it still. Get that cut off, and then we'll play with it and just see how it fits. Alright guys, got that cut. Well, taking my measurements looks to be pretty good. And this way I use the daughter piece to put my clip here. One big sharp edge hanging out. So I'll put this here. We're going to push it to make it mold. Well, right there should be it. Yeah. we're going to put the nickel there. I need to get my center mark on this one. But then have a center mark here, so I know how it is. Only bad thing is, then that don't leave much at the end there, though. We still got to do metal work like this, tight as can be. Yeah, design picture. That's going to be quite interesting. You know, we got it to do. But what I'm fixing to do now, I'm going to get my measuring the center mark on this. But take and clean all this paint off of here. Get this ready because this is going to have to be a wood shot deal. Hold it and just go well. You can't put screws in it or anything like that. So, better make sure I got it where I want it. No doubt. But let me get that centered clean and then we'll see what we got. All right, got it all cleaned off, ready to weld, got the welder hooked up. I weld a little hot, guys. I don't know how y'all do it. A lot of people turn this down to 1, welding the sheet metal. I got it on 2 and I just move fast, just how I roll. Wire speed's roughly about 28. But, 030 wire. Yeah, I think that's ready. But what we had to do is do a bracket too, because of course we can't weld on this plastic, but we've got to bracket it. So I made a little bracket. Yeah, you can see the little weld there. I'm gonna let it sit over here and cool down. But yeah, that's ready. So we can bolt that up. I got a really good weld on it. I mean, it ain't going nowhere. So yeah, this one's ready to weld on. I've done cleaned up my edge and got all my marks where I know it's going to be sitting. So let me get this one, tacks on it and whatnot, and then we'll back up and take a look at it. All right, there we have it. I mean, looks like that's where it's going to be. We do need to check the tire clearance, that's for sure. I got several tacks on there, enough to hold it in place. I know where it's going to be. It's not sitting that far out. Yeah, I think you'll like that look. But let's do check tire clearance because that's of course a big issue. Down it far enough where I can reach the steering wheel. That should be good. But I already had all this measured out, so now we're going to see what this is going to be. That's all the way that way. Oh yeah, man. We are good there. Check the other way. Yeah, he's going to bounce a lot, did that. He hit that and there was an issue. Cool, I am happy with that. Close it back up. We'll go straighten up. Alright. I think I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish burning that one in and get my little bolt nut there in front to hold it against the bumper. And I think that'll be cool. Well now, we got that one all welded in. Let's done some stitch welds down through there, guys. What I call dots and stitches. I mean, it ain't going nowhere. Sure added some rigidity to that fender too, from where we had cut that out. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I stopped right before here. I'm unsure of what I'm gonna do, from here to here. It's gonna be a weird transition, but I might bend this out a little bit or something, who knows. And this right here will sit right there. Got a bolt coming through here with a nut here. It's a Phillips head, that's why I brought it through backwards, because you can't get nothing in there. But you can get a little pair of pliers or a small wrench in there for that. That'll hold it. It ain't going nowhere. But yeah, I'm glad I did it like that. That way we still have our outer lip for safety. Of course, went ahead off camera, knocked out this side. Same thing. Got a bolted nut in there. Stitch welds. Dot and stitch welds. This right here is a little bit far, but we can pull that together and get a tack on it. That's no big deal. But there again, I'm deciding what I'm going to do here. But before I worry about what I'm going to do there in that transition, it's the end of the day today. But I did go ahead, once I finished that other side, and took some measurements on this one. Of course, this one's going to stick out a shade further than the front, because the tires stick out a shade more. So up there, where I measured 2.5 from here to here, on this one, I just measured 2 inches. So I'll get my line run around there in the morning. We'll get this one cut up and get it hopefully fit. I worry about this because right now, with the way it's sitting on there and the way it's going to fit, it is right against that inner piece. Y'all remember this metal piece that I made for it, to cover all that in there. I think what we're going to have to do is zap it off right quick. Glad I didn't weld it like I thought of. Zap it off right quick and come in here and cut this right through here. Because we're going to need a lot more room, because when we cut that flare, of course it does come down. You can see less circumference, more we cut out of it, the less circumference. So the closer we are to our wheel well opening. But we'll do all that math tomorrow after we get this one cut, because this one, whatever we do on this side, we'll do on the other side. But cool. Happy with what we got done today. That looks good. So I'm going to go in and kick out, and I'll see y'all in the morning. All right, guys. Now we're working on this side over here, driver's side. Getting this one ready. I have it cut and ready. Here we go. Already got the tab welded in for the rear bumper. And this was going to set pretty much exactly just like that. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. But before we go to put this on there and weld it, we've got to do some other stuff. What other stuff, you may ask? Well, if you remember, we just zapped this on there. We don't have to weld it or nothing. Zap it on screws is fine. Once the flare's on there, you'll never see it. We'll get plenty of primer and seal it up. But this is bare metal behind it. What we're going to do is take this off and get the primer back there. So, grab our gun, go zapping then. So, what the deal is, basically, we don't want to do a half-ass job. Because if we don't get some primer behind this, then of course, it's going to rust. A bit of moisture gets back there, bam, we got rust. We don't do rust. Come on up there. It'll get a tight fit. Luckily, all of this is still painted on the inside, so we ain't got to worry about it. But nothing here. Nothing. Get a rag, wipe it down real quick. Knock some crap off of here. Alrighty. Now, what I'm going to use is this well-through primer, because we don't want no flare-ups in the welding. And this stuff's good. It works great. This will protect our metal. See? Quick and simple and easy. No stress, no mess. Now I'm going to run over and do the other side off camera. This other side, we're going to have to cut it. That black piece of metal is a little too tall. I've done a test fit with that piece. Both of them's going to be the same, of course. So let me go over there, zap that off, and we'll get some this well-through primer on it, as well as get it cut. And there we have it. Back flare, check. Got some good welds on it. She fit well. What I've done, guys, I've done this side first, then took measurements and run over to the other side and done it the exact same way. Yeah, it's going to look a little different because that tire's flat over there, but I guarantee you it's exactly the same. Now, looking down the side of the car, yeah, them look sharp. Like I say, the rears are sticking out a 1/4 inch more than the front. And reason being, these are two different rims. Look at that real close. Look at the center, especially around the lug nuts. Now, go to the front. You can tell a big difference. Like I say, they look the same. They're the same design pretty much. But the depth of the rim is different from the front to the rear. So that makes these rears stick out more. But as far as a look, that's a good look. I don't see why anybody would not be happy with that. Yeah, that's looking pretty sharp. All right, guys, the next thing to do is we're going to have to get some metal and graft these side skirts into these flares. But besides that, y'all know what I say. So far, so good. Well, everyone, I think that's going to wrap it up this week. We are at a good stopping point as far as getting all of our flares on. Like I say, I need to take out next week and run up and get some sheet metal. I'll probably just get some 20 gauge, just like the flares are made out of. And we've got to make a really cool transition to go down to them side skirts. That's going to be some pretty cool metal work that we're going to have to accomplish to make it look right. But there again, the car's coming along really well and everything's going together on it. I think when we do get finished, it'll look fantastic. Well, everyone, I do appreciate you watching. Hopefully you've been enjoying this series. If you would, throw us down some comments. Hit us up on Patreon and Super Things. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until the next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.